welcome to this week's review of The Dark Knight, starring Heath Ledger.
Showtime.
You've changed things. Forever. There's no going back. See, to them, you're just a freak. Like me.
What do we got?
Nothing. No name, no other alias. Clothing is custom. Nothing in his pockets but knives and lint.
Evening, Commissioner. Why so serious?
Where is he?
People are dying. What would you have me do?
Endure. You can be the outcast. You can make the choice that no one else will face. The right choice. Gotham needs you.
A little fighting here. I like that.
Then you're gonna love me.
Now that's more like it, Mr. Wayne.
It's all part of the plan. Come on, help me! Let's put a smile on that face.
This was not a movie. This was an event. This is one of those movies that you see once in every 5 to 10 years, one that gets everything right. I will have to say this could be one of the greatest sequels ever made, along with The Godfather 2 and Terminator 2. It drew from all the good things from the first movie, and it got rid of any flaws that may have been in there as well. I don't know if any movie will beat this film's opening weekend for a long time. I'm even thinking this could break the $200 million mark. There are even theaters creating new showtimes that never existed before after the midnight showing. And I haven't seen this much hype for a movie since episode 1 came out. Fortunately, this movie didn't have the Jar Jar Binks factor to it. And Kevin Smith said he thinks this is the godfather of comic book movies. And I couldn't agree more. This is one of those times where the event did live up to the hype. And I can't remember the last time I was thinking about halfway through the movie, I just don't want this one to end. Part of that reason was because I knew that eventually we would see the end of one of the greatest performances by an actor in a long time. As everyone knows, Heath Ledger passed away shortly after this film wrapped. While it is tragic that he was taken far too young, it was nice to see that he did go out on top. His performance was riveting, and his screen presence was overwhelming. Also, his makeup and wardrobe was brilliantly crafted. Just like everyone will associate Brandon Lee's tragic end with The Crow, The Dark Knight will always be a bittersweet film because of Heath Ledger's untimely passing. As much as almost everyone loved Iron Man, this movie went well beyond any comic book movie that I've ever seen. This had the best actors in the business and a well-developed story that got you sucked in until the very last second. And having a cast like Morgan Freeman, Christian Bale, Aaron Eckhart, Gary Oldman, Michael Caine, and of course Heath Ledger, you only missed the fact that Katie Holmes was not in this movie. But I'm sure everyone will still be talking about Mad Money for years to come. That should be an instant classic. Good choice, Katie. What also gave this film such power was the sheer creativity and imagination that went into the making of this film. Movies like this are worth the wait. Studios need to stop rushing these kind of movies, make them once, and make them right. So many films have a lot of potential, and they just go down the drain. Alien vs. Predator and Ghost Rider are two that quickly come to mind. The scenes with the Bat Bike were brilliant, and they're really thinking out of the box when they worked out so many of these action scenes. And with all the hype surrounding this movie, even before Heath Ledger's tragic passing, I've been trying to figure out why this movie, and the Joker in particular, are so fascinating to everyone, and why he's really captured the audience's attention like few other characters ever have. There's something about a guy that has a true sense of style and psychotic madness that allows the actor playing the character to go in directions that few characters will ever allow and still make you believe it. This portrayal of the Joker by Heath Ledger will go down as one of the greatest villains in movie history. The complexity of the character along with the twisted logic make for infinite possibilities. And once The Dark Knight faces the Joker, how will another villain in this series ever come close to what this film has produced? Where movies like this normally fall flat is the actual plot and dialogue. And not once did this movie drop the ball with terrible lines or a poor performance, and the acting was top notch. And it's hard to even put into words how this movie grips you. And all you keep thinking is these are the movies that make you remember why you love films so much. It never sold out, it never insulted you, and it never took the easy way out. There are very few movies that engulf the viewer and make them really believe the story. This is one of those films. The only thing I'll warn people of is there are some pretty disturbing images in this film. So keep this in mind if you have a kid that's pretty young. And I think they did the effects beautifully and I wouldn't change them. But I do want you to be aware that you have a small child, it may be best not to bring them to this movie, because they can always catch it a little later. Because this movie will be a classic for as long as you can press play. The ending was both powerful and poignant. In this movie, you really do believe that anything is possible. And this is how you tell a film has really done its job when all the possibilities are left open. And that makes this movie that much more interesting to watch. Overall, if you love movies and skip this one, you'll be missing out on one of the greats. This kind of movie only comes around once in a great while, and The Dark Knight is the definition of why I'd love to go out to the movies. And there are very few movies that I've seen twice in a theater in the last 10 years, and this will at least get one more viewing from me within the next week. For my overall rating, I give The Dark Knight a perfect 5 stars.
How about a magic trick?